I'm Brian Sexton, and today we're thrilled to have Tracey Martinez with Mission Clubs Panama joining us. Hi, Tracey. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Brian, how are you?
I'm great. Listen, I know a little bit about the story, about what and how it came together, but share with us how Mission Clubs Panama became what it is today.
It's such a great question. So, my husband and I were attending a local church, and our pastor told us that we had 3 years to go on a mission trip. And we were right at 3 years. And I was like, honey, we need to go on a mission trip. I think we should go to Panama. And he said, you know what? I already do a lot of work in Jacksonville. I work with, kids that are in need through the Boys and Girls Club. I really don't think that we need to go out of the country to do this.
Right.
So, of course, I won that fight, and off we go to Panama. And I just thought we were going to go for the week, that we were going to, serve, and that we're going to be able to grow in our relationship, with God. And then it turned out at the end of the week, Paul said, I really think that we need to do more. I think that we need to do more here in Panama. And I said, okay, wow. I didn't really know that that was going to be how this would turn out, but that's what he said. So we left that trip, we came back home, and within a year, we had bought a 15-acre farm that would fund this new Boys and Girls Club, which we call Mission Clubs,
Right.
in Panama. And we started with 30 kids. And now here we are 9 years later with 200 kids a day.
So, full disclosure, your husband is Paul Martinez,
Yep.
who is the CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida, which is the fastest growing Boys and Girls Clubs outfit in the entire country. Congratulations to him.
That's right.
How did the Boys and Girls Club experience impact what you're doing in Panama? Is it very similar?
It's very similar. In fact, we are part of the International Boys and Girls Club. So it's not under the exact same brand, but it's the same people that used to be on the board, that in Africa and Mexico and other countries, you can actually tap into the resources and provide the same thing. So it's such an amazing model to provide a safe place for kids, either before school, after school, to give them that sense of belonging. In our case, we feed a hot meal, every single day to 200 kids, because a lot of the kids that we serve in Panama don't have the resources to be able to, have either internet at home or to have even electricity in some cases, much less hot meals. So we really just took that same model without all of the same funding, and applied it to Panama.
So how does it operate? Because you're the mother of a high school student here in Northeast Florida.
Yep.
You obviously can't spend a lot of time in Panama.
Yep.
How does the whole mechanism work?
Sure. So we have, in the last 9 years, developed really strong relationships with some people that live in Panama. So we've had the same general manager for the last 9 years. We've had a lot of the same, unit directors and youth specialists for almost the full 9 years. And so we are employing full-time 11 people that are in Panama that run the day-to-day. Now they report to us, and we manage all the finances. We raise the money here in the US, and then we send what they need on just a monthly basis. But we could not do it without the help of the amazing people that we have working for us in Panama.
So tell me how you're raising money and what the funds go to and how people can help.
Sure. No, I appreciate that question for sure. So we do once a year a gala on December 2nd. Actually, it's on Giving Tuesday, and this year it happens to fall on December 2nd.
Yeah, that works out perfectly.
Yes. So
Timing.
we raise that money to cover, usually it's bigger things like capital projects. We last year raised money for a second location, which we are getting really close to breaking ground on. The year before, we raised money for a second bus because we had one bus that was transporting the kids every day. So we do that. Then we also do, it's similar to Compassion International. It's a sponsorship model.
Right.
So it's $40 per month for the students. And we still have students that are available, like to be sponsored. So meaning the $40 a month doesn't come close to covering everything that we need, but it covers a really nice portion of it.
So someone who's watching who wants to sponsor a child, how do they do so?
Yep. You can go to our website, missionclubs.org, and then follow the links to sponsor a student. And it will walk you through everything you need to know right there.
And we'll put all of that information in the show notes. Okay, a couple questions for you now.
Yep.
Everybody has a defining moment in life. What's yours?
I really think that it was, we went to Panama. I think it was Panama. That was the defining moment. I thought that I knew what was important in life. And then when I got to Panama, it was just really revealed to me that, you know, everybody is blessed in different ways, but we are really blessed to be a blessing, not to just enjoy, the goodness.
Yes.
And so that was really a defining moment for me when I looked at like where these kids were living and the conditions. I just looked around and I said, even if it's one less dinner out a month or lunch out a month, like whatever I need to do, I'm going to do it.
Very
And
simple
that's
approach.
very simple.
Very. But profound.
Yes.
How about an obstacle that helped define Tracey Martinez?
I mean, loss. There's definitely been loss in my life. I think that losing my mother when in my late 20s, that was really that was a big obstacle. And up until then, I had been able to kind of like work everything out by, making a list and going after it like a personality. And then I
Yeah.
realized with that, that couldn't be fixed. And it just really taught me, to not rely as much on myself and to really turn to God.
And finally, what's your motto? I mean, what's a tip? What's something that defines your success in life, personally and professionally, you can share with our audience?
Let's see. Mine is, never give up, honestly. So really it's like the growth mindset
Yeah.
and, whatever obstacle comes your way, don't say, "Oh, that's it, I can't do it." You say, "No, let me figure out another way to get around it," and just keep going because some of the most famous people in the world were told they couldn't do it and they kept going and were able to figure it out.
Perfect advice. Tracey,
Yeah.
thanks so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Appreciate
And
it.
good luck with everything. The gala's coming up on December the 2nd.
Yes.
And if people want to sponsor, it's missionclubs.org,
.org.
which will be in the
Yes.
show notes.
Thank you.
Help us out, folks, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here on Finding Your Frequency.